conflict, because the liar must keep new details consistent with the old ones. As Kayla expands the robbery narrative, she starts editing herself in real time. Slapped becomes grabbed. Shots change, positions change, which is exactly what investigators want on record.
When you push yourself as hard as I do, you need to have good habits. That includes staying ahead, keeping healthy, and taking my car to Katie, where they respect my standards and my time. And their ultimate wash protects my car from UV rays and airborne contaminants. High quality, no compromises, and no appointment needed. In other words, Katie doesn't cut corners, and that's a habit worth keeping.
So you're coming from Eagle Lake when you came there. So did you turn it onto Taylor Street?
Yes. It wasn't just a random, it wasn't just like a, it wasn't a known street. It was just something I just turned on, you know what I mean? Because I seen it like in different houses, I was apartment pulling.
So where was, did you tell me a while ago you had to wait on him?
Wait.
Did you have to wait for him to show up?
Oh, yes. It was a while. I rode around that neighborhood for a minute. So that was about like 30 minutes, I want to say.
So which way was your car facing?
My car was facing was out on the left.
And what happened then?
After what?
When he rolls in or y'all stop and he talks to you.
Yeah, normal. Then he just, pulls out a gun.
Excuse me.
And my bag's in my lap. I keep my bag in my lap. And he takes my bag. I don't have anything else in the car. All my cash is in there, sitting on me, everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's dangerous for him to have anything like that. Title of my car, my not life insurance, health insurance card, all that kind of stuff. So.
Thank you for the light.
Yeah, he did that, and then he gets back in the car, and I get out because it's like that's like kind of shiesty, because we have been talking, and we thought we were close, I guess, and then he was calmer then, I guess, but he still was pulling out a gun, so I slapped it out of his hand, and one shot. So then I shot at him. I shot at him, I don't know how many times, I don't even think I hit him, but.
Did he shoot at you or?
It was, I don't know, he didn't shoot at me because I wasn't shot, but it was a shot that went off somewhere.
Was that out of the car or in the car?
I'm not sure.
The detective avoids moral accusations and focuses on physical logistics. Where the cars were, which window, where the bag sat, how the gun moved, how she held on while he drove off. Reality monitoring theory suggests real memories contain grounded sensory and spatial detail that stays stable, while fabricated accounts often sound dramatic but become inconsistent when forced into concrete geometry. The diagram exercise weaponizes this, turning storytelling into measurable mechanics.
Finish off the pizza. Oh yeah, finish that real quick, man. Unfortunately, that shit goes so quick, even with one person. And then I had some Subway sandwiches today. But I'm making some cheese stuffed like garlic bread things. Garlic bread rolls right now. So it's about to be a nice feast tonight too. What you up to tonight, man?
And like I said, if we started, yelling at each other, and I told you one shot went off towards me, I don't know where it went to. You know what I'm saying? So I slapped the gun out of his hand, tried to grab my bag, and before he pulled off, like I was shooting at him, and I fell, obviously, we came along to the apartment, you know what I'm saying?
So where's the gun?
He has it. I guess he has it. It's in his car.
So did Did you drop it back in the car? How did he, if you had the gun, how did he get it back?
No, I don't know. No. I shot, but I just dropped it back in there. I dropped it back in there.
What kind of gun is it?
I don't know. It's a black gun. So, yeah.
Do you own any guns?
No, I don't own any guns. No.
Right. I'm still confused about the car part. You're gonna have to explain that to me. I'm gonna give you 2 pieces of paper, and I'm gonna draw it out for you.
Oh, shit.
All right?
That's
Oh,
all
I
good.
tried.
Yeah, you're gonna draw it.
Okay.
Yes, you're gonna draw it, because I can't draw worth crap. You saw that. All right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put driver, okay? We'll just say this is the front of the car. Okay? Driver's on the left side. So we're gonna say the driver's here. And we're gonna. And we know you're on Taylor Street. So there's the 2 cars. Show me how you were parked, and show me which one was you.
Making her draw the layout increases mental workload. Cognitive load theory holds that deception is cognitively expensive. Liars are juggling facts, story coherence, and emotional performance. When forced to translate a verbal story into a spatial model, the liar's working memory budget gets strained, and cracks show up as contradictions, vagueness, or sudden revisions. I wasn't at the passenger window. He came to my driver window. Then I knocked on his passenger side.
So in your face, this would be,
You're both
this would be, yeah, you're both facing the same direction. And this is gonna be the 102, FM 102 that takes you to Eagle Eye. Okay. And y'all are pulled off, where are y'all? Y'all stopped on the roadway? So both cars are side by side on the road, or is one off in the grass? Or what's the story on that?
I don't necessarily know. I just was part of the road.
Right. So, this is you here. Okay. So, you're on the far right. So you're talking across to him over here. At what point did you get out of the vehicle? Or who got out of the vehicle?
I was talking to the passenger window.
Hmm?
He got out to the driver's window.
Oh, he come to the driver's
Yeah,
window.
but that's
Okay.
what he pulled out of there. He didn't point at me. He did, everyone knows what that is about. Like I said,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so he gets back into his car, and at that point, that's when I get out, and I knock on the passenger door, trying to talk him out of taking my stuff.
Okay.
And at that point, he points it at me, and at that point, we start arguing and stuff like that. And then he shoots like something. I don't think he meant to shoot me. You know what I mean? I don't think he meant to do that anyway. But that obviously got angry. So I slapped the gun out of his hand, and I get the gun and I start shooting him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't think I ever did that.
Okay. How many times did you shoot at him?
2, 3, as many times as I could before he dragged off. That's how the car ended. That's how the gun ended up in the car.
Okay. So he was driving off as you were.
Yeah, and I was holding on to the passenger door.
Okay.
George Morland presents a pop quiz on the history of plumbing. The first flushing toilet appeared around what time? 500 BC, 100 AD, 3000 BC, or 1500 BC? Need a hint?
Whew, you need a plumber's helper? What's that?
It was 1500 BC on the island of Crete. If it's plumbing, we have it.
George Morland Plumbing, the water heater king.
4 parties this week, Ryan. At this rate, we're gonna have to take out a second mortgage.
Where is the grocery on?
What's
Big
up?
fish out of the thing.
Senna
He's
bread.
right. You'd be surprised how much you can get for less here. From gourmet items to everyday staples, we've got it all. Even this is in our
Just
budget?
made some,
Absolutely. Go ahead,
cheese
grab more.
stuff.
Hey, don't worry. The house is safe.
Bread.
Okay, spot in with the girls. Because these parties aren't gonna de-stress themselves.
The detective keeps looping back. Go back, you lost me. Let me get this straight. At what point did you get out? Where was the gun? This exploits the Gricean maxims. Truthful speakers generally stay consistent and cooperative, while deceptive speakers violate clarity, relevance, or quantity when cornered. Each loop forces Kayla to either simplify, risking gaps, or elaborate, risking contradictions. Either choice benefits the investigator.
Well, I see it is a good job, drove off and, even.
Okay. Well, and that's what we're, like I said, that's what we're looking into. Anytime something like this, and that's why I said, I want to hear your story, and I want to be clear on your story, because I don't want to be sitting there going,
But
well,
that right there is exactly what happened.
Okay.
What I don't understand is why I had to waste my whole Father's Day here just because I was wrong. That right there
Well,
is something that.
sometimes they're not what it looks like on the outside, and we've got to look into and investigate. Because, and that's, in the long run, it's gonna benefit everyone in the situation, because we get the true story, and no one's rushing to judgment on this, okay? I'm not saying you've done anything wrong, and that's where we're at right now. But what I wanna do is make sure there's nothing there to make me wanna, any further, there's nothing, nobody in your trunk or anything like that.
What?
I'm just saying, don't hang your name,
I'm not that type of person,
Okay.
I don't do anything like that.
All right, well, like
Nobody, there's nobody in my trunk, he just fed off.
all right. And like I said, what I'm gonna do is, I would like to take pictures of all your injuries,
Okay.
okay? I would like to get a consent search of your vehicle. I would like to get a consent to search of your phone. The only problem with the consent to search the phone is we're gonna have to hang on to it for a couple days. Probably till tomorrow and run it somewhere, but we're gonna need your cooperation, give us your password. You know what? If you got stuff in there,
Requesting consent to search car/phone isn't just procedure, it's a behavioral test. The behavioral consistency principle suggests people align choices with their internal beliefs about risk. Kayla quickly agrees to the car search, but resists the phone. That pattern signals where she expects exposure. Even if nothing is found immediately, her selective cooperation becomes a psychological tell that guides investigators toward the most probative evidence source.
let me ask you this. Would you allow me to look through your phone with you present
Sure.
and maybe take some pictures of y'all's conversations?
Well, we don't have any conversations, he blocked me, and I think I called him back after. I was calling him, he blocked me. I know his number though,
But I mean, in the snaps, would
he
you,
blocked me.
so when did he block you?
When I was calling him on Snapchat, when he does stuff like that, he doesn't do it through his phone. He likes to do it on Snapchat. So, he blocked me because I was calling him right after the situation happened, you know what I'm saying? And, he didn't
Happy
answer,
almost Christmas Eve.
and we just, said some stuff, hung up, and then I didn't realize I was blocked until later, that's when the police showed up and everything, and I was showing him the messages. I was showing some other officer the messages. And, then, he blocked me, so there's no messages over him anymore. There's no messages at all. That's why,
Because, the thing that concerns me is the officer earlier said he did see some messages in there.
Yeah.
Okay?
I showed him, I still he did, he saw stuff from 2018, that was his oath,
And the thing about it is, I'm not concerned about that. Would you allow me to look and you show me?
what I'm telling you is the messages are no longer there, so that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's all, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. Would you be able to show me that they're no longer there?
Yeah.
Like I said, I just want to look for myself. I'm not saying anything that you're lying to me or
No,
anything
I'll
like
just show
that,
you
all
the
right?
messages are no longer on Snapchat, yeah.
Okay. And like I said, I'm not looking for any of your personal messages or anything
I
else.
understand that, it's just
Okay.
social media.
The path to a college degree is more affordable than you think. With Sophia Learning, you can take real college-level courses that are designed to transfer fully online for just $99 a month. Start your free trial, no credit card required. Sophia Learning, built for you.
At On Point, our members love supporting all things local. So why not join us? Together, we'll do great things. Find out more at onpointcu.com/support-local. On Point, people are the point.
He repeatedly hints that others saw things. Officers saw messages. There were witnesses. Cars pulled up. The timeline is known, without fully revealing what he has. This leverages information asymmetry. When the suspect believes the detective already knows the answers, they try to guess the evidence and tailor their story. That guessing behavior is how suspects accidentally confess to details only the real actor would care about, or contradict facts they didn't realize were verified.
Okay. Let me do this real quick. I'm gonna walk out and talk to the supervisor real quick. Do you need any water or anything?
I do not. Do you know when I'll be able to go home?
I'm gonna see what I can do for you, okay? I can't.
Do y'all have like, not you, not
I
you.
know they got a hold on you right now.
You personally have like completely ruined my day.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just simply because my stuff is stolen. I've been here all day.
All right, what this says here is that you're allowing me to have consent to search of the car that we do have here at the location, okay? Just need to get you to sign there that you agree to allow it, okay?
I'm trying not to. They won't even give me a Band-Aid.
I can get you a Band-Aid.
This is fine, no, I'm just ready to leave.
Tell you what, let me look at your hands and stuff. Let's get the pictures real quick. Okay, your hand over here, how'd you get the injury there? You said you were...
These?
Uh-huh.
I was holding onto the open the door of the window until I was dry.
Okay.
And then driving off.
Okay. Let me go talk with my lieutenant real quick. Tell him that you don't want to do the phone. And I can understand you don't want to,
Hey, yeah, that's personal.
Yeah.
That's anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I just will show you that the messages aren't there anymore. I will show you
Okay.
that.
Yeah, and like I said, any messages in between you and him, I'd like to see. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
But let me go talk with him real quick and I'll be back.
And can you ask him when I will be released?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Because I have to see my dad before he leaves.
Okay. All right. Give me just a few, okay?
Throughout, the interviewer stays calm and regulated, while Kayla oscillates between frustration, victimhood, and urgency. You ruined my day. I need to see my dad. Affect regulation theory suggests emotional people seek stability from the environment. A calm interviewer becomes that stabilizer, which paradoxically keeps the suspect talking. The detective doesn't win by dominating. He wins by being the steady surface that reflects her inconsistencies back at her until she can't keep them aligned.
I know right now they have your cell phone. We're gonna try to get that thing back to you so yeah, but I know what life's like without that thing. Well, is there another good number to reach you at? Is your grandmother's the best one probably? Okay. And I've got that number because I called her yesterday on that. So kind of what's going on. The sheriff's office here had started the investigation from last Sunday, and they've asked if I kind of come and help them just kind of work through some of the things. And so that's typically what we do. We come in and just help them. We don't take over their investigation or anything like that, but we're here to help them any way we can. So sometimes we help them by just helping them getting interviews or statements. Sometimes we help them with evidence. Sometimes we help them, whatever we can help them with. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. So I know I didn't get a chance to talk to you Sunday when Investigator Wheel was talking with you. And I know he already got some information, but I wasn't here for that. So if I could, I'd like to kind of start back over with you and just walk back through what took place on Sunday. And we'll kind of work through everything so it makes sense. Kind of one of my concerns, and it's what I told your grandmother, I've been doing this for a few years, and I worked narcotics down in Houston before coming and being out away from the Houston area. And I don't want to see some bad information get out and people would get upset with you and start trying to retaliate or come back at you for something. So, well, you're still here. No one's gotten to you yet, but I don't want that to happen. So part of that is us being able to clear up some of this so that I can kind of get out there and start letting folks know, hey, here's what's going on, what you're hearing is incorrect, and help kind of keep the wolves at bay, if that makes sense.
The ranger later frames the interview as protecting her from rumors and retaliation. Keep the wolves at bay, instead of accusing her. The defensive attribution hypothesis predicts people accept explanations that preserve a sense of fairness and safety. By presenting himself as a protector, he lowers her defenses and encourages fuller disclosure, while quietly moving her from victim into we need to clear up inconsistencies, which is an accusation disguised as help.
So start with me on Sunday. Kind of what I tell folks is, while we're talking in here, it's important for us to be honest with each other. If you can't be honest with me, I'm not here to try to get charges on you. I don't care about your drug use, your drug history, or any of that kind of stuff. But I know it's there, and if you lie to me about that, we can have a bond where we can talk with each other. You can ask me questions, and if I can tell you the answers, I'm going to tell you, yeah, this is what's going on, or this is what's happening, or this is what you need to know. If I can't tell you, I'm going to tell you, I can't tell you that right now. I just can't. So if you want to ask questions, or you want to talk with me, we can do that. So on the flip side, I'm going to be asking you questions and want to talk with you. And I'd rather you tell me, I don't want to tell you that, or I'm not comfortable talking about that with you, versus lying to me about something.
I don't care about weed, your drug history. That line removes the safe excuse suspects use to withhold truth. Risk compensation theory predicts when perceived risk drops, people take more communicative risks. By lowering fear of minor charges, the ranger attempts to pull her into candid admissions about the meetup, transaction, and contact history, details that may collapse her self-defense narrative when compared against evidence.
Here's the deal, I don't know you, you've never lied to me yet. And once you lie to me, I'll tell you the same thing I tell my kids, we're on bad foot, you know, and it's real hard to recover that trust that for me to believe anything you're gonna tell me, okay? So that's kind of start. I don't want you to fear that if I tell them I use marijuana, I'm going to be in trouble for that, because you're not. And I have no reason, I'm not here about that, I'm not worried about that. Does that make sense? Yeah. There's been other stuff that took place, and that's what we're going to focus on. So talk with me. I know you're going to meet the guy named Josh on Sunday, so kind of talk to me about how that developed, how that unfolded, and where you met him at. Just walk me through what took place, okay?
The ranger explicitly establishes rules. Be honest. If you lie, we're on a bad foot. That's a commitment trap. Commitment and consistency theory says once someone agrees to a principle publicly, honesty, openness, cooperation, they feel pressure to behave consistently with that commitment. If Kayla continues dodging, the detective can frame it as a broken promise, not just suspicion, making her resistance look irrational and guilty.
Yeah, I met him on Taylor Street. You know, I was there for a little time before he got there. You know, he pulled up about kind of 30 minutes later, and he got out of the passenger, the driver's side, came to my driver's side, and, you know, we rolled down the window, and, you know, I was supposed to, it was a transaction, supposed to take place for $3 grand. And, you know, before I could keep him running out,
Sean Weiss and his team put a lot of effort into trying to get him into a hospital last night, and I thought it worked. His dad thought it worked, but it turns out he found it back then. So the damn pizza was delicious. Shout out Blaze Pizza.
But you know, like I said, You know, I've talked to him before.
Okay, so have you ever walked him in the past?
Yes.
Also got a little chat with his old friend, the other organizer, my guy,
Is that typically how
down.
y'all would do in the
So they
past?
couldn't get him into the car last night, and that's why they weren't able to get him on. But he trusted an old friend. Yeah, it's the holiday season, it's rainy out, and I just wanted him to have at least some basic. A lot of you guys are concerned about Tyler Chase this holiday season. Some basic accommodations. You want to stay local, and this is the only one that was open and accepted people. So here we are, man.
Yeah, like I said, it just.
I'm gonna come back and holler at you, man, and we'll talk more about trying to get that situation squared away so we can do the rehab, whatever we need to, okay? Okay. Give me a
Just
hug.
like the drug transaction we're talking about, period.
Yeah, how many times have you walked him in the past?
I would say about
You're the man, brother.
The ranger doesn't demand a full confession first. He stacks small agreements. You were at Taylor Street. You waited. Your bag was in the car. You shot twice. You were outside the car. Each yes becomes a nail. Foot in the door works by building a chain of prior commitments so that later backtracking looks like deception rather than uncertainty.
Now we gotta go help people customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Leland, where's the golf cart? There it is. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Like I tried hundreds of meal prep solutions before I found Factor. Let's be real, Factor's menu is way healthier than the competition. Their chefs actually know what they're doing. Every meal's balanced and built.
It's not killing.
No, that's what happened.
Because I'm just trying to make sure I understand everything clearly, so if I say something back to you and it's wrong, you're not gonna hurt my feelings or be in any trouble for saying, no, that didn't how it went down, you got it wrong, or something like that. So you're getting money out to give to him. Has he shown you, are you at a point with him where you don't need to see it, you know?
Well, you know, I don't want to say I trusted him, but it was just like, since we had met him before, you know, it's kind of like a laid back thing, you know, you don't really expect anything like that.
So,
what's your name?
Does he say like takes the first or give you?
I want to know your name. You know, you see, me, like, you know, knowing, you know, like I said, having a past relationship with me, that's when I get out of the car, you know, go to the passenger side, you know, I start, you know, we exchange where he lets me down and everything, and, you know, he has a gun.
Did you owe him for any previous stuff?
No, well, I got a lot to do.
I'm uploading this stupid
Yeah, I got a gun and everything, you know, he's not, at first, you know, he's not trying to, but I reached for my bag, I reached for my bag, and that's when he like lets me off. I mean, I automatically.
So is he sitting in the car at this point?
Yeah, he's in the car.
He went back to the driver's seat, sat down, and you walk up to where the front passenger, is that window down when you walk up to it, or you open the door?
The window's down.
Okay, so you never opened the door or anything like that?
No, I don't believe I opened the door, no.
Okay, and when the window was down, did you see your bag or purse in the car?
Yeah.
Or did
It was on, no, it was in the car, it was in the car.
Do you remember where in the car was at?
It was on the floor, I believe. It was on the floor.
Down by his feet, or?
No, it was on the passenger side.
Okay.
On the passenger side.
So are you trying to get your bag at this point, or are you still trying to get hooked up at this point, or kind of, what's he saying to you?
You know, it's just a lot of.
He forces her account into body position language. Mirror, window height, leaning in, distance from the door. Because memories tied to real action typically remain stable when mapped onto physical space. Embodied cognition predicts that when someone is fabricating, translating a verbal story into a bodily replay creates friction. The body map and the spoken map don't match, and contradictions surface.
And so like, yeah, he has the gun, and you know, when you let off the gun, that's scary, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when, you know, that round goes off, you know, I automatically clutch the gun, like, what do you call it, the barrel, you know, because if you do shoot him, it'll go through my hand first, and not hit me, you know what I'm saying? So this is all through the window. And so at that point, you know, I have the gun now, you know what I'm saying? So I fire back at him.
Okay. So when you go back to the car to get your purse back, back from him? Were you going back to get your purse? Were you trying to finish out the deal or what?
No, I'm trying to get out of there because, you know, at this point, you know, like, you're not to be trusted basically, you know.
Right.
Which I was probably gonna go to the police and let about that.
So, did you know he had a gun when you went back to get your purse from him?
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because when he approached the car, he didn't have the gun, but you know, he didn't point it at me or anything.
Okay.
He didn't point it at me or anything.
He had the gun on him?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where he had the gun at or what he carrying in his hand?
He had it in his hand, but it wasn't not gonna threaten me, you know. I didn't think anything of it. Like I told you, I've already bought from him. I knew the item, you know what I'm saying? It was nothing like that. At first I did not fear for anything, you know what I mean? Because I had met up with him before.
Okay, so he came walking up, he had the gun. Do you know if it was in his right hand or left hand?
No, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. Like that is still, you know, all of blur. That didn't happen so fast.
So he had the gun in his hand, he reaches in and grabs your purse and goes
What's a
back.
backpack?
Or backpack,
Yeah.
and goes back to the car and sits down in the driver's seat. And so you're gonna grab your backpack, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I
And so
thought.
when you walk up to the window, does he still have the gun in his hand or do you have it sitting in the car someplace? Do you
It's
remember?
still in his hand, I believe.
Okay.
He stays calm and respectful even while dismantling her story. Interaction adaptation theory predicts people unconsciously match the relational tone in a conversation. By refusing to escalate, he denies her the "I felt attacked" justification and keeps the interaction in a cooperative register. So if she shuts down, it looks like evidence pressure, not police aggression.
So when you come up, do you remember where he fired that round at or like did he fire into the dash of the car? Did he try to shoot out a window or was he shooting at you? Do you remember where the window?
It came towards me. I'm not sure if it came out of the window or not.
Okay.
You
And
know?
so where were you at when he
I
fired?
was like kind of, I won't say right in front of the passenger window, but I was like by the mirror, you know, kind of thing, like basically talking to him through it, like, you know, trying to talk him like basically out of it.
Okay. And so what does he do? To kind of walk me through what you see as far as the gun coming up and what takes place.
And as far as I see what, because at that just, you know, reaching in, trying to get, you know, him from shooting into my hand before he shot at me.
Okay. So while you're at that front mirror, had he already shot? Or you're up by the front mirror of the car and then he shoots out?
Repeat that?
You were saying, I may have misheard you, were saying you were standing at the mirror, on that front passenger
Like
door?
the side mirror.
The side mirror? So he shoots out while you're standing there or while you're walking up to it?
No, after he shoots out when I reach out to get my bag.
Oh,
That's what he does.
so you reach in and grab your bag
Uh-huh.
and it's on the front seat, is that right, or somewhere in that area?
Yeah, and that, you know, I believe it was in the front seat to begin with.
Okay.
And
You're gonna reach in and grab it,
I
try to
hadn't,
get out, I guess.
I hadn't reached to grab it yet. I did reach to grab it, but I didn't get it, basically, like I'm saying, I never, you know, I wasn't successful with him. Then that's when, you know, like I told you, I pushed the barrel with my hands.
So he's already fired one round off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, do you know about how close the gun was to you when it went off?
I mean, like, I wouldn't know, like, give you, like, you know, feet or anything, I wouldn't know like that, but it was, you know, they're pretty close, he's just in the driver's seat, I'm outside the car, they're pretty close.
Welcome to Survivor 50, the greatest adventure on television. We chose you, and all we want is everything. Never done a season like this.
Now I see Zach Brown on Survivor. It's a Billy Irish boomerang idol. Jimmy Fallon may decide by fate in this game. I bought a briefcase.
One of the most exciting steps in searching for a home is when you go from browsing online to connecting with a home listing agent. That's why Homes.com connects you directly with the home listing agent who knows the most about the home and surrounding area. Click here and boom, you're connecting directly with a home listing agent. Homes.com has the home search you've been searching for.
He moves her from broad emotional narrative, I was scared, it was fast, into systematic processing. Where were the casings? Where were you standing? Which side? How many shots? The heuristic systematic model predicts liars prefer heuristic talk, vibes, fear, blur because it's hard to falsify, while systematic detail invites verification. Forcing systematic mode corners her into either consistency or collapse.
And so you still have the gun in your hand, I guess, when you're holding on to the car and you start to drive off.
And I believe that the gun thing. It was there my mission to keep the gun. You know, I believe it fell off inside the car. You know, if y'all didn't find her on the street or anything, it's in the car.
You leaving for Christmas tomorrow? I looked it up for, that's a 3-hour, 25-minute ride to Seattle. Trial operation, yes.
Did you try to fire more and it didn't fire, or were you just...
I'm not going all the way to Seattle. I'm going to Tacoma. So it's not quite that long.
2 times and then stop.
It's about 3 hours now. A little, something like that.
Okay. So have you ever shot firearms before?
Yeah, I shot a firearm before.
And pistols?
Well, basically just like with the older uncle or something like that. You know, I'm a country girl.
Do you know the difference? And I ask all this because I'm not trying to insult you or nothing, but some people don't know anything about guns. And other people know a whole lot about guns, and some know a little bit, but not much. Do you know the difference between a semi-automatic pistol and a revolver?
It's like bad signal on the way.
Like a revolver is the kind of gun.
Like you can't even listen to the radio. Can't even listen to Spotify at some points because you lose signal.
Automobile gun. It's got the cylinder in the middle that kind of works out. Yeah, like a cavalry kind of gun. You put the bullets in, you close it up, and each time you pull the trigger, it turns and goes to a new bullet. It turns and it shoots one at a time each time you pull the trigger. And a semi-automatic is kind of a pistol where the magazine goes in the bottom. You got to rack the slide, put a round in, and then when you shoot, it's called semi-automatic because it functions like that. Where each time you shoot, it slides back and reloads on time. Does that make sense?
When he asks basic firearm questions, revolver versus semi-auto, racking the slide, safeties,
Man, they tried to ban me off Mimi earlier. I thought I was gonna be banned on Mimi till like Christmas, but then they let me back on because I verified my profile. Luckily.
Himself as curious rather than combative. The pratfall effect can make an authority figure seem more approachable when they admit limits, prompting the suspect to educate them. That teaching mode often leads to over-disclosure and, crucially, reveals competence that contradicts I don't know defenses.
It looked like there was a pill bottle that was in there. It burned a little bit. So it's just a lid to it. You're not in trouble. There was no pills or drugs or anything in there, but it looks like it's almost like those little watering pill bottles. There was some paperwork in there from Blue Cross Blue Shield.
That's fine. Blue Cross Blue Shield. I don't know about the pill bottle.
And it might have been.
It could have been mine. It could have been mine because I have kind of a lot of stuff in there. Could have been, you know, anything my grandma or whatever. Could have been anything, but I don't remember. Okay.
So on your cell phone, I know you want to get that thing back. I know you initially were letting actors kind of look into it. I know you may have stuff maybe you don't want the officers to look at. Is that something you'd be willing to get us the password to it so we can get it back to you sooner? Or is that not something you'd be willing to do? So where I'm at, I've got a search warrant for the phone, and I've got a guy in Austin that I take my stuff to. He works for the state police with me. And he's got the technology to hook up, and it'll just take him longer to go through the phone without the password. Get the password, he goes through the phone, get the same stuff, and then I get the phone back to you probably Monday. Does that make sense?
That's something that I can take up with my lawyer. Probably gonna cost a lot to see that in the law.
Gotcha. Well, it's not something your lawyer can't give you permission or give you the password, so it's something you would give me the password if you're willing to. And then he has that, he gets in, dumps your phone, gets it back to you. If that's not something you want to do, that's something you say, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to, it's just something.
Okay.
The phone password offer is a psychological bargain. Give me the password, you get the phone back sooner. Temporal discounting predicts people overvalue immediate rewards compared to future costs. If she were purely innocent and cooperative, the short-term reward is attractive. Her refusal signals perceived future cost, so the detective gains diagnostic insight without needing a confession.
You know, it sounds like that front passenger side window was down, and they're shooting evidence inside the car, and it's consistent with the bullets having come from your direction over to his. But it's not consistent with, for you to have bullets in your purse but not know anything about it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
With Smart Plus campaigns, we went from 250,000 downloads to over 1 million downloads in less than a year.
We've generated over 100,000 leads, which has converted into over 40,000 sales for our pet insurance policies.
Get started today with TikTok Smart Plus.
When you push yourself as hard as I do, you need to have good habits. That includes staying ahead, keeping healthy, and taking my car to Katie, where they respect my standards and my time. And their ultimate wash protects my car from UV rays and airborne contaminants. High quality, no compromises, no appointment needed. In other words, Katie doesn't cut corners, and that's a habit worth keeping. Katie Car Washes, for a shine like new.
Do you want to think, is there something you can think of how those bullets might have been in there and you forgot about them or something along those lines? They're in there with all the other items that we talked about that were in your bag.
At this point, I'm just not sure.
Okay, is that something you just don't want to tell me about?
It's just something that I'm not gonna say to incriminate myself.
Okay.
In, any further whatever this is, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Out, thinking clearly about, why I do whatever.
Okay. Is it possible that you showed up with the gun that day and that you were trying to jack him for the weed?
No, I'm not that type of person. Not at all.
So, when we look at things, one of the things we do when we talk to folks and do an investigation is we kind of look at the evidence, because the evidence is stuff that typically doesn't change. It doesn't have a voice in that it can't talk to us.
Right.
But it is what it is. It is where it falls and where it's at and located. And in that it can't lie to us either. Whereas when we talk to folks, sometimes people will tell us one thing because they're trying to deceive us, where they don't want us to know the truth. And other times they may not just remember something, and that's explainable too. But so when we look around in the car, the awkward things are that there's, the gun over on the driver or on the passenger side.
The ranger repeatedly elevates physical evidence above human storytelling. The evidence is what it is. It can't lie. This works because objective constraints act like a psychological ceiling. Once the suspect accepts that the scene is fixed, their narrative freedom collapses. The tactic corners Kayla by making her feel she's not arguing with a person anymore. She's arguing with reality.
The magazines are all on the passenger side. The cartridge cases are all on the passenger side. The bullet defects that hit him are coming from the passenger side to the driver's side and through the driver's side door over there. But there's no shooting evidence over on the driver's side going towards the passenger side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And we also have your bag over there. Your bag has ammunition in it. Your bag has money over there with it. And he has marijuana all around him over on the driver's side, which is not consistent with him having gotten out of the car and been trying to do a drug deal over at your car door. Because it sounds like from what you're telling me, when he got back in his car, you came over and you already had the gun out and stuff, and they weren't trying to do the transaction. So I'm trying to figure out how he got marijuana out and all over him and all this stuff going on. Does that make sense? What sounds more consistent, and this is just me looking at all the evidence in the deal, is that you're over at his window, he's got the weed out and trying to sell to you, and something else goes wrong that takes place and that you ended up shooting him on that side of it.
No,
It's a lot more plausible with the evidence.
I never went to his side for anything.
No, you just shot from the passenger side over it.
Oh, okay.
You wanna talk more about kind of what really happened on the field?
I'll give you my statement, sir. So like, any other questions, I'm pretty sure I need to have a lawyer.
Okay. So I guess what you're telling me is you don't want to tell me what really occurred.
That's not what I'm saying, it's just like you're saying something that's completely twisting, what I've already told you what happened, and so it's just like.
He repeatedly tests whether a story increases or decreases in probability when new facts appear. Ammo in her bag, casings on passenger side, marijuana located around Joshua. No driver-to-passenger shooting evidence. Bayesian-style questioning doesn't accuse, it updates. Each new data point is presented as a rational reason the current narrative is less likely, pressuring her to either revise toward truth or visibly resist logic.
So what I'm trying to do is help you understand that what you're telling me doesn't make sense, it doesn't add up. So when I talk to folks, I've got 3 kids, and they make mistakes, and they things they're not supposed to do. And being younger, they'll sit there and try to tell me something else occurred with it. And what I tell folks is, it's kind of like when I walk in the house, and my kids are standing there next to the cookie jar, and the cookie jar is empty, and there's cookie crumbs all around it, and they got cookie crumbs on their fingers and cookie crumbs on their face, and I say, did you eat all the cookies? And they say, no, I didn't eat all the cookies, it was someone else. And I mean, they can tell me all day long they didn't eat all the cookies, but at the end of the day, they got crumbs on their fingers, crumbs on their face, crumbs all around them there over by the cookie jar. It leads me to believe that they were actually eating the cookies after the jar. And so, I understand that some bad stuff went down this last Sunday, and there's a reasonable explanation for it that'll coincide with where the evidence is located at. And I understand you're probably in a position right now where you're really probably nervous or worried about being in trouble for what went down out there.
The cookie crumbs analogy is carefully chosen to trigger guilt. You did it, own it. Rather than shame, you are bad. The shame-guilt model predicts guilt leads to reparative behavior, truth-telling, explaining, cooperating, while shame leads to withdrawal and stonewalling. He's trying to steer her emotional response toward accountability instead of shutdown.
My thing is, when my kids make that mistake, when they say that I made a mistake, I messed up, and they're willing to take responsibility for that, apologize for it, try to make things right, I feel 10 times different towards my kids. And the punishment, everything that occurs after that is much different than when they sit there and just keep lying to me about it. Knowing good and well that I know the truth, and they know that they're lying to me about it. So a lot of times when I talk with folks in here, it's not just a matter of trying to figure this out, it's also about trying to help you relax, help you get some peace of mind back, and help you get your life back where it used to be. And I feel like you're carrying weight around with you. I feel like you got a lot on your chest, right?
I'm in Portland right now. Tomorrow I'm gonna be in Tacoma, Washington.
I think you and I both know something different went on than what you've been telling myself,
packing right
more than
now.
what you told Sergeant Guido. And I want to afford you the chance to be honest with me is what I'm telling you.
I understand that.
So you have the choice. There's 2 sides to every story. You have the choice to be honest with me if you want, or you can tell me that you're done and you don't want to talk to me. The way our legal system's set up, I'm not going to force you to talk to me or anything like that. I've asked you to come in here voluntarily. You came up here and I appreciate that. But the problem is, one of the things I want to do is talk with you about some of these inconsistencies and give you a chance to be honest with me and kind of correct some of those things. And that's what I'm asking you to do, I guess, is to be honest with me and to help me work through this.
Frames her as someone who can make a mistake and still be a good person, like his kids, rather than labeling her a killer. Self-affirmation theory predicts that when people feel their core identity can survive disclosure, they're more willing to admit wrongdoing. This is a face-saving corridor. Confession becomes owning it rather than becoming evil.
Guitar Center is your one-stop shop for unique gifts. And with 48-month financing on top brands, you can stay on budget and win big this holiday season. Impress them with something they'll truly love at Guitar Center.
This winter break, stay warm and cozy while furthering your education with Sophia Learning. For only $99 a month, access 70-plus college-level courses designed to transfer for credit. Sign up today.
Any other, further questions on where it is?
So it's my understanding that you don't want to tell me the truth, you want to be done talking with me at this point and finish up. Is that what we're
It's
at?
not about the truth, it's just about not having any.
For me, it is about the truth. And so that's all I'm seeking. I'm not here as an advocate for Josh. I'm not here as an advocate for you. I'm simply here as an advocate for the evidence and to figure out what the truth is. And we've talked, but we've also talked about why it's not plausible or doesn't make sense. And if we don't want to go down the road to give you the truth of what actually occurred, that's your choice, that's your decision. But I want to make sure you know that you have that choice. So if we're not going to do that, though, I don't want to waste your time or my time. Does that make sense? So you don't want to.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
He emphasizes voluntariness. I'm not going to force you. You have a choice. This reduces psychological reactance, the impulse to resist when feeling controlled. By offering an exit, he paradoxically makes continued talking feel like her decision, not his demand, lowering resistance and increasing the odds she keeps engaging.
Well, here's the deal with the whole lawyer thing, and I don't want you to have a misconception. You're not charged with anything, so you don't get the right to a lawyer, but you do have the right to stop talking to me if you don't want to talk with me. Once you're charged with an offense, you do have that right to have an attorney. So if you don't want to talk anymore, just let me know I don't want to talk with you anymore, and we'll now stop. If at some point you do change your mind and decide, you know what, I probably should be honest and tell the truth, all you gotta do is call me. I'm gonna leave you got my cell number, I'm gonna leave my business card, you can pick the phone, I don't care whether it's midnight tonight or 2 weeks from now, you can call me and say, actually, I wanna make things right and talk with you again. Then I'll meet you any place, anytime, wherever you wanna do it at, and we can kinda go back over and work through it, okay?
Yes.
Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming in. Is there anything else you wanna pass on that I may not have asked you a chance to talk with you about?
No, I just take your card. Like I have Sergeant Hugo's card. And I don't know anything I can call you back.
Okay, definitely. So I'm gonna leave this with you. This has my office number, but I'm gonna mark everything out except for my cell, because the office goes to a driver's license office, and the phone rings off those. So that way you get all my contact info on there. At any point, like I said, if you change your mind, you want to kind of go a little bit more in depth on this, we can. We'll kind of clear up anything that you'd like to clear up. All right? Let me get you out of here. I got right at 12:50, 56, 12:57. I'll walk you back up there.
Ending with a business card and call me at midnight or 2 weeks from now creates an unfinished psychological loop. The Zygarnik effect suggests people experience cognitive tension from incomplete tasks. Unresolved moral weight and unanswered questions keep intruding. The open invitation plants a delayed confession pathway. If she later can't tolerate the tension, she reinitiates contact. During the interrogation, investigators methodically dismantled Kayla's initial narrative by testing it against physical evidence and logical consistency. Through detailed questioning about timing, positioning, actions, and possessions, the detective exposed contradictions between her claimed sequence and what forensic evidence showed. He used evidence-focused framing to shift the burden from her subjective account to objective facts, forcing her story to compete with fixed details such as bullet locations, physical distances, and items found in the vehicle. Legally, this interrogation helped establish credibility gaps and evidentiary inconsistencies, building a foundation to challenge her self-defense claim and strengthen the prosecution's case toward a conviction. After pleading guilty to the murder of 27-year-old Joshua Wayne Thomas in connection with the June 2019 incident east of Columbus, Texas, Kayla Kashawn Hurd was sentenced to 20 years in prison for the fatal shooting in this case. The sentence reflects her acceptance of responsibility through a guilty plea, which often results in negotiated sentencing that avoids a harsher outcome at trial. In addition to the murder charge, she also pled guilty to a related controlled substance possession count, with the possession sentence running concurrently. From a legal perspective, this sentencing underscores how corroborated inconsistencies uncovered during interrogation and investigation, particularly when they undermine claims of self-defense, can influence plea negotiations and lead to significant prison terms, even when intent and circumstances are contested.
It's perfect for everyday essentials. It's ruby red and oh so glossy.
I can handle the grind, just not cooking. Factor changed that. My life is always busy and dinner is a struggle. I'm either ordering takeout or eating the same boring meal day after day. I couldn't keep up until I tried Factor. Factor saves me time and effort with nutritious chef-made meals delivered to my door. 0 prep meals heat up in just 2 minutes and they taste delicious. So easy and fast, even I can do it. Sign up now and get 50% off your first box.
You recognize the guy in the camouflage?
Yeah, that's me.
You
Yeah,
recognize that guy?
that's him.
Yeah, don't you? In the car with you. But you don't know him?
I don't know him.
Am I the Twilight Zone?
This is 19-year-old James Lee Sinatus, a teen killer who has just realized that his victim's phone recorded everything. Now, as James breaks down,
You and him? Guess what? You're shooting a video with his phone.
Stop showing me that shit, man. I'll be setting you out.
he will realize that there is no escaping his crimes.
The thing is,
I gotta open the windows, hot in here. Dude, there was just a video like 2 seconds ago. Merry Christmas, Matt. Appreciate you. It got hot in here all of a sudden. Need to open the other window too. Dude, where is this shit at? What the fuck? Are you spending time with family this Christmas? Yeah, I'm going to visit my brother and my dad tomorrow in Tacoma, Washington. So that'll be cool. It's supposed to be a big windstorm though. Get out of there! Fuck out of there. Hopefully you got a lot of good presents and have a great time. Yeah, hopefully. Should be an interesting Christmas. You do too.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I killed my husband. Just because I might be off 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. I did not.
Our story begins in Centerville, Iowa, a historic town with a rich coal mining heritage. On the morning of May 5th, 2018, the Appanoose County Sheriff's Office Communications Center received a concerning 911 call.
Hey, this is Roger. There's I think a house fire at 828 South Park.
828 South Park, okay?
Yeah.
So you can see the flames?
There's smoke coming out of an open window and nobody's home.
I'm gonna hold up the fire department. 828 South Park, right?
828 South Park, yep.
Smoke coming out of the window. All right, I'll let them know.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Neighbors attempted to help by calling out for anyone who was inside the burning residence. They received no response. Here's the body cam footage of the first responding officer.
Okay. There, 111. To let the fire department know that there is a lot of smoke coming out of the east side of the house. Do you know if anybody's home? Or they all left? Okay. Centerville. Also, the neighbors say that everybody has been out of the house.
Shortly after, Centerville Fire Rescue arrived on scene. The fire rescue chief, Vern Milburn, had his helmet cam on throughout the incident. When they opened the front door, a dog ran out of the residence, and there was heavy black smoke from floor to ceiling.
You ready? Yeah. I actually got hose here. I was going to do follow the hose and we're going to run into
The firefighters worked their way down the hallway and toward the active flames. The fire was primarily in the master bedroom. As the visibility increased, the firefighters made a gruesome discovery. On the bed, they found the charred remains of a middle-aged man.
We do searching for anybody else. We need to take them out and fight fire. I must lost it in there. Okay, we think that's what we want to do. You and somebody that wants you, guys. Right. Well, we're ready to bring it over and you are fixing. You have the guys up here, we're going to get it on that fire. Yeah, we're gonna get that. Okay. This door is gonna be a pain in the ass. Yeah, we'll come get it to bring it. We gotta bring it in there and get it that way. Get out there, see him. Ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
When you push yourself as hard as I do, you need to have good habits. That includes staying ahead, keeping healthy, and taking my car to Katie, where they respect my standards and my time.
Fire Chief Milburn is familiar with the owners of the residence. It was the home of Tim and Barbara Pazza and their 2 children, Owen and Kate. The firefighters recognized the deceased man as 50-year-old Tim Pazza.
You check the room real quick, maybe hit it, and then go do a search of the whole house. Okay. And then I'll have you back up through if you need help. Alright, bathroom clear. Yeah, bathroom clear. Right here. Okay, closet's clear. Alright. This bedroom's clear. Alright, going down. Yep, that's clear. Take it outside, put it right out there. Ready? Okay. It's been clear. I'm gonna check up here. Okay, this one's clear. That one clear? Clear? Okay. First floor's cleared. We're going to the basement. Basement's clear. Yeah, I think we're good, Don. They just said there's 2 kids, are they accounted for?
Well, they wasn't here. I've done a complete search of both rooms. I'm gonna go do it again. One of the girls, supposedly somebody told me was on a bus to a meet or something somewhere.
There's 2 kids, and she just wanted to make sure that they were accounted for.
Well, yeah, it'd be Owen and his sister, Katie. But I think Katie, they said was going to a meet somewhere. I don't know about Owen.
The Centerville police chief, Tom Demery, was made aware of the situation. He was shocked to learn of Tim's passing. The two had known each other since high school. Timothy Dale Pazza was born and raised in Centerville. He attended Centerville High School, where he made lifelong friends. Family friend Sonia Carson said Tim was an all-around good guy. Chief Demery said that Tim and their friends would set up their instruments in his parents' garage. He said Tim played the guitar as well as anybody he'd ever heard. Rich Parker, Tim's friend, said music was his outlet, and that Tim was the lead guitarist in a fabulous country band. At one of the band's shows in 1999, Tim met 25-year-old local Barbara Glasscock. Sonia said that Barbara grew up in Centerville and that she worked as a nurse. She described Barbara as funny and witty. After a few months of dating, Tim and Barbara were engaged and then got married. Not long after, they started a family. Rich said that Tim was a very present father. He attended every event, and anytime they spoke, he bragged about his kids and what they were doing. Tim worked as a customer service representative for Alliant Energy, a local utility provider. Barbara worked as a nurse in the surgical unit at Mercy One Medical Center. A decade after they wed, the couple purchased and remodeled a home. From outward appearances, Tim and Barbara seemed to have a great life. Back at the Paza residence, firefighters moved Tim's body into the ambulance. Inside the bedroom, Fire Chief Milburn noticed a candle on the floor. The smoke alarm inside the bedroom was also on the floor, and its battery was out of the compartment. Fire Chief Milburn said that the alarm was not melted or burned like in a typical fire. On the opposite side of the house, they located another smoke alarm between the two kids' bedrooms. The battery compartment was open, rendering the device inactive. Neighbors finally got in contact with Barbara, informing her of the house fire. She rushed to the scene. When she arrived, Officer Moore advised her of Tim's death. He said that Barbara didn't seem to have any emotion. Law enforcement and Barbara's friends believed she was in shock and overwhelmed. The police asked Barbara about when she left the house that morning and whether she knew why the smoke detectors had been disarmed. She told them that she left the house around 7 a.m. She had been baking the night before, and something had burned, setting off the smoke alarms. Barbara said Tim took the batteries out of the smoke detectors until the smoke cleared. Officer Moore told Barbara that Tim was in the ambulance and that he had been burned severely. She was insistent on spending some time with him. Officer Moore provided her a couple of minutes to spend alone with Tim. Sonia said that when she emerged from the ambulance, she was stoic. Sonia thought that when Barbara did have an emotional breakdown, it was going to be bad. Officer Moore told Barbara that an autopsy would be conducted. He said that she became upset and believed she should have a say in that decision.
Guitar Center is your one-stop shop for gifts. Save up to $200 on Sennheiser wireless systems. Gift them the freedom to take the stage, but hurry in, because this deal won't last long.
Life is hard enough. Getting an education doesn't have to be. This winter, get ahead with Sophia Learning's 70-plus online college-level courses designed to transfer for credit. All courses are self-paced, on-demand, and it only costs $99 a month. Sign up today.
The officer thought that Barbara's reaction was unusual, but he felt she was probably overwhelmed by the situation. Police and fire personnel were concerned that Tim appeared not to attempt to move away from the flames. A fire marshal said that in his opinion, the candle wasn't the source of the fire. He said the fire burned rapidly on top of the bed and more intensely on the side where Tim was sleeping, which was the opposite side of where the candle was located. A few days after the incident, Barbara came in for an interview.
Hi, Barb. Remember, dog? Can we get her for that? You remember me then from yesterday? All right, so my name's Don. Yeah, thanks for coming down. I got a lot going on, and thanks actually for calling and saying come early so we could get down here earlier. There's officers that walk by. It's okay if I shut this. Okay, it's not locked. How's things going with the kids and everything today?
We went out for the SSI benefit, so that kind of, I was trying to be the man of the house, so he's doing about finances and all that stuff, but for me today, it's probably worse day.
Yeah, just with everything come down.
I'm nervous about what, figuring out what happened, and what's going on, and I don't know. Yesterday, talking about the arrangements and stuff, and I'm supposed to get a call from, I'm supposed to have his autopsy maybe today.
Okay.
So I've been anxious about that call, and I can be cool and collective and nothing bothers me, but this is really got me stressed, just, it's processing how I answers.
Right. So sometimes, in cases like this, police departments ask fire marshals and then the BCA to come in and kind of help out to figure out what's going on. You know, these are sudden, everybody wants to know the answers, you're going to want answers, kind of what we find, Owen and Keith are going to want answers on what happened with Tim. So we come in, we have the benefit of we don't know anybody, so we can ask questions and talk to people, and we just don't know any history or anything about them. But it's also sometimes a detriment because I don't know you and I got to get a little bit of background on you, and I know that's not the easiest to talk when someone passes away, but I think it's important for me to get kind of an understanding of
the house and kind of the situation in the last weeks and, you know, the morning when you left, that kind of stuff. So I'd like to kind of talk about that if you're up to it. Go through that.
Try to do what I can.
Okay, so tell me, I guess, about you and Tim. You guys been married very long?
18 years, still along. We've been 18 years in October.
Okay. And you work, right?
Yeah.
Where do you work at?
I work at Mercy Medical Center, nurse.
Thanks, Wes.
What do you do there?
I'm a circulator in the OR.
Sounds fancy. What's that?
Basically, I do the charting, and if they need instruments, I get the instruments and bring the patient back, and I'm ready.
How long you been out there? Is that your incentive?
It'll be 5 years in July. I did about 12 years of hospice.
Okay. That's tough.
I found it rewarding.
Yeah.
I've been diabetic since I was 16, so I need more structure. As much as I love the 3 12-hour days, you're not as productive as you think you should be
Right.
on those days, and just, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I saw you must take insulin for that then. Yeah.
Got 2 healthy kids, and
Yeah, and that's, I'm right with that, Owen and Kate, and how old are they then?
Owen is 16, and Kate will be 15 in June.
Okay. And biological kid with the intent then?
He played in a band.
And I saw the guitars.
Yeah.
I like the collection.
Yeah, played in a band, and my niece actually, we were joking this weekend, hit on him, but she was currently in a relationship, and he was just like, no. And so he chased me for a while, and I was chasing somebody else, and it was kind of mean to him, but I should have got the idiots to it.
Right.
And eventually, went on a couple dates, and he was kind of a mommy's boy, and he was 30-something when we got together, so lived right next door to his parents, and the only band, at that time, bands played every weekend.
Right.
2 nights a week, so he made decent money to live on, support family, but so he tended to his mom for the week and lived in the bands. Owen was supposed to be our only child because they were so high risk. I had to plan him for about a year, but Kate, she was a little accident.
Yeah. Tim worked, did he?
He recently in Alliance, customer service. So when you called in, he was the one that you yelled at about your bill was so much, or so it was stressful on me, but obviously he had good practice with me and Kate, so
Yeah.
but I don't think it was that bad. He'd tell me some stories, phone calls.
How was things going for him at work and at home?
Well, he was stressed at work, at home. He was married 18 years, just kind of getting different, he had different interests in mine, been doing different stuff, and he was playing with the band again, and we were just kind of in a lull, just kind of hovering.
Right. Yeah, it's my 16th anniversary, so I kind of know that you kind of have those ups and downs.
Yeah.
And maybe were you guys just like still together, or were you guys thinking about going our separate ways, or?
I get,
You know, I always wonder,
Yeah.
you kind of sometimes stick together for
sometimes
the
fight,
kids.
and I just want to know that every time, not just this year, other years when we fight, I tell him to leave, but he didn't leave his kids. I don't know that we were super strong and lovey-dovey, but we're still together.
No.
I'm not sure that happy would describe our relationship, but not unhappy.
Yeah.
We just kind of exist together.
Yeah, so it's like sleep together and everything at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And dog.
Yeah, and the dog. Yeah, your dog got lucky there, didn't he? And then your kids sound like they're active in sports, and you said track.
Track. Owen does soccer too, and Kate does soccer.
It's America, and it's a tough year for everybody, but I mean, how are you guys sitting that way?
Well, probably paycheck to paycheck. We got behind on our mortgage and had to refinance, and some creditors, but I stress that stuff.
Were you guys able to find common ground, at least to get that handled?
He handled the bills for a while, and then he got tired of it, and kind of half-assed handed them back to me, but then he'd pay certain ones, and there's passwords now that I don't know because they were the ones he did, and
Right.
I just kind of lived a little too freely and had a little online shopping.
Yeah, don't we all kind of have those things where,
Yeah, as much as we fought, or I had it, issues or problems, he was usually supportive. I mean, he said he loved me, even a couple years ago when he thought I was doing bad things. You know, I denied I didn't do anything.
You think you're stepping out maybe or something like that?
Part of the soccer stuff, but I did.
Yeah, just like some of the parents spend a lot of time with them.
And the coach.
Coach, yeah.
Just because it's a new person and he was, you know, friendly relationship and nothing ever happened. But he kind of accused me and he said if it did happen, he loved me and he'd forgive me. So
you guys argued, it's more just verbal arguments?
Yeah.
And never physical?
Yeah.
Were they close with them or not?
yes, very close.
Both
Especially.
Okay.
He has his dad's passion for music. Kind of self-taught himself to play guitar.
Right.
Shared the same basic taste of music. And so, yeah, he's probably closer than Kate. Kate's his second me. A lot of times I don't have to say what I'm thinking because it's already came out of her mouth. You know, she'd argue with her dad or be impatient with her dad, but the next day it'd be, you know, I'll be back to normal. And, you know, teenage stuff.
Right. Like I said, kind of our goal is when we bring the expertise down to kind of look at the scene and help study and figure out kind of what happened with the fire and kind of how things are going. I guess can you kind of talk about this weekend, I guess, Friday? Is that normal for Owen and his dad go for walks in?
Yeah, more than the rest of us.
Was that late or after dinner?
No, it's before dinner because nobody could decide where we were going to order from. So finally Owen sent me a text to order Georgia Mix.
So they went for the walk, they come back and had dinner. Do you guys eat like as a family then, or is it kind of grab you go?
Just kind of wherever. I usually watch TV in the living room. We all like different things, and sometimes he sat in the bedroom and watched the ball game. I don't know really what he did that night. The last time I talked to him before I went to bed, he was out in our sunroom, strumming on one of his guitars. He liked to stay up late and listen. He had different shows. He loved to watch his music in concerts and would tape them. You know, you could find them on Netflix or Sling, some of the documentaries or, you know,
Packing for
live
my
concert. He's all about his music. I hated his music.
What kind of music is that?
Rush, Jeff Beck, kind of. You know, a lot of times we supper at the table, but you know, it's a Friday night and Owen goes in his room, plays Xbox. Kay goes in her room, watches. You know, she's got a TV on the wall, but most of the time she watches whatever she wants on her phone. Tim and I didn't really agree on shows either, so it was normal that we were different rooms doing different things.
Okay. Are the kids aware that you guys are kind of falling apart?
Yeah, because of the last one of the fights a couple weeks ago, they finally said, "Do you think you guys would be happier apart?" But I mean, in the next 2 weeks have been, you know.
Do you think your last major argument was a couple weeks before?
Probably with finances. I don't know. That kind of always stressed us out. Or,
Right. Is that what you kept seeing maybe stressed? Is with work or was it mainly the finances?
probably a combination of both. My mom actually told me how stressed he was at work.
And what time everybody went to bed?
I was probably 11:30, 12.
You at 11:30 and you said Tim was still awake?
Yeah.
And both kids were home by then?
Yeah, they probably went to bed about 10 or actually I woke them up till about 5:30.
Did they know you were going to go to the game or do you have to drive them or how's that work?
No, they drive themselves to the bus and the bus took them.
Okay. So do you remember Tim coming to bed at all?
No. But I had a shirt on about 2, 3 o'clock. And he was in bed then.
And at 5:30 when you got up, does he wake up with your alarm?
No.
Do you guys talk at all?
No.
Do you have plans getting up and going with you or anything?
Well, usually he sets his own alarm or we'll get up if he's gonna go and, you know, I know I made plans. I had a light on and I waited for the kids to get all their stuff done. I cooked them some eggs and we had some cinnamon rolls. So I made them some breakfast because I had a long day and went in and took a shower once they left. And when I got out of the shower, I said, "Are you going with me?" And he said he didn't feel good. Okay. We'll go from there to sleep.
What time do you think that was?
Probably 6 6:30, going to 7.
Did that kind of piss you off that he didn't go, or is it?
No, like I said, he wasn't one that we got to go all the time. So we always kind of felt like if they had at least one parent there, we never, we did travel basketball and different things. We always felt like they got hurt, one of us should be there. I don't know if it was having the windows open, but all of a sudden just the dog smell was just, I don't know, it was gaggy.
Okay.
So that's why I had to go to camp.
Do you remember, tell me about that, I guess, then?
I had it in the bathroom with me. He just said he was nauseated and the smells really bothered me. So when I left, I set it on his nightstand to kind of get rid of that because she'd been sleeping there on the pile of dirty clothes beside his bed.
So what time did you left?
We left for 7. My goal was to be out before 7 because I knew it was about 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had to stop to get some gas. I never make it all the way.
Did you talk to anybody on the phone? Did you meet up with any other moms or anything like that?
But I went and got some cash from the farmer's bank and
Just to the ATM then?
yeah.
Were you able to get cash?
Yeah.
So when you were heading out of town, I guess when you left, did you see any smoke or putting the candle in his room and kind of checking on him and him saying he's not there?
Left.
Like the last thing you did before you left, right?
Yeah.
And then you went out. Then you went and got cash. So tell me about your drive then. Did you catch up the bus? Did you see anybody?
Yeah.
How far did you get? You said you didn't notice any phone calls?
Well, I was north of Gordon and I finally got a ding.
Was that somebody telling you there was an issue at your house or?
My first one was Kate. She had screenshotted a Facebook thing from Shelby. Their house was on fire.
Okay. What did you do next then after you saw that?
Well, I pulled over and tried to make some phone calls. I think I tried to talk to her and our phone got cut off. Because I didn't know, should I go get my kids? Because they were freaking out, you know. I didn't know what to do. Yeah, my first instinct is to protect my kids.
So what were you told on the phone then?
That my house was on fire, and that Diana asked me, you know, where we were at, but she didn't know. And I remember we went out, Tim was in the house.
Did you ever try to call him?
You
You know if anybody did?
I know when I didn't answer for my mom, she did. Because if she can't get a hold of me, she'll call Tim. And he didn't answer, so she was freaking out. I don't know if anybody else did or not.
And then what did you do next?
Well, I finally figured out that I should turn around. And so I flew back. I guess I just assumed Tim was mobile and moved.
And then I guess you got back. What did you see? You got home?
I think I either got a text or a call from Owen, and the neighbor kid had told him that he knew somebody was in the ambulance. So maybe that's when I tried to call Bethany again. And she told me I just needed to come to the house. She wouldn't tell me anything. And so when I pulled up, I parked and I could tell by the look on my dude's face. For sure.
And that's a lot to take in. You know, and like I said, our job's kind of put things together and try to figure out what happened. And you said when you're out there, you watch a lot of CSI shows. What do you think maybe happened?
I don't know. I know that Mike was nice enough to fulfill my wish, well not wish, my request to see him. And I hope to God he wasn't alive when that happened to him. I don't know what happened. I mean, we're gonna cremate him. That's not what I would have picked in this scenario. That whole fire thing just flips me out. I'm gonna smell the smoke now, or Mom's neighbors were having a bonfire Saturday night, about pushed me over the edge to think of that. He's my husband. I can't say we were madly in love, but I loved him. I wouldn't wish that upon anybody, even not knowing. Just, it's crazy.
And it,
We can tell you Carl's Jr.'s new $5.99 Cali XL burger has double the beef of a Big Mac for less. Or we can show you the new Cali XL. More meat, not more expensive. Only at Carl's Jr.
Are you an experienced electrician with over 8,000 hours or a 5-year apprenticeship? Yes. IBEW needs you right here in Northern Nevada, where opportunity meets lifestyle.
Northern Nevada's booming. Construction's up. Businesses are moving in. And by 2026, we'll need over 1,000.
and that's kind of one of the things we need to determine, but I always talk with people too, because I wasn't there. I mean, you know, somehow
Sell
this
you
house
a dream, buddy.
figure out how that happened, and now we're doing the autopsy, and we'll have good understanding of what their findings are, and we understand that process, right? Yeah. We got our lab team down here and the fire marshal down here to do a thorough investigation.
From that, can you figure anything out?
You know, that they're still working up there, so we'll step out and try to get that answer for you today. And but my goal here is, you know, I want to talk with you and make sure that there's nothing that we need to discuss, because, you know, the science is there. You know, we're pretty good at determining things that are going to happen. If it was the candle, they're going to be able to tell me if it was or was not. You know, if it's not the candle, we're going to have to figure out what else was there that might have started the fire. You know, our indication Tim's a healthy guy. I don't think he's gonna, you know, pass of some kind of natural causes and then somehow the house start on fire. That doesn't make sense, right? So, you know, we need to look at all those aspects, but, you know, at the same time, we want to give individuals the opportunity if they maybe saw or heard something to help us with the investigation too, because, you know, we're going to put things together and it's going to come out, and we want to make sure that we have full understanding. I don't want to jump to conclusions. We're just trying to figure out what happened. I mean, I guess what would make you think that?
I don't know. I've never been through this process before. I don't know. I know you have to look at everybody. You know, if that's what you're thinking. I don't know.
Yeah, and Barbara been doing this kind of like a long time, you know, and we'll get it what we do, and that's why we come down here, and I think most families appreciate that. Like
I'm just.
But I'm also a realist, you know, so I look at things and I prepare myself for if things come back different, or I consider another explanation that I'm missing. You know, sometimes the facts come together in a case and they point in one direction, and, you know, black and white might look like this, but there might be more to the story, and that's my job, is to talk with people.
Right.
You know, to kind of get a better understanding, because I'm going to hear that maybe your relationship wasn't that well. You can say that, would you agree?
But we didn't fight in public. We just, I'm more social for people that I like. Where Tim was just, you know, if you went out and talked to him, and he talked to you.
Finances were a little tough.
Yeah.
You know, they definitely were. Look like maybe you're behind a little bit on your house.
Well, we refinanced. We had been like 6 months behind. So we did a loan program. So we've gotten that back on track. And that was just some bad spending.
You know, and sometimes, I guess, how's that gonna work out? Put your insurance up to date?
That was part of the mortgage, or the escrow and all that stuff.
Do you guys have life insurance?
Yes, and I just had upped his policy. Mine, I'm kind of aware with my diabetes. I think there's 100,000 on me, plus I have 2 years of my salary. And I think Alliant, his was just a year and a half. And so with their increments, we looked at going up more, but they'll only allow you to go up 25,000. So I had upped him for mine, and he got approved.
Okay.
And that was just something that we had talked about, because his brother died younger. I really thought I had more on Tim before, but, you know, he missed this process, but, you know, we wanted to make sure our house, you know, things were taken care of. I have extra on the kids. I think I have 25,000 apiece on the kids just to cover if something would happen.
What were you able to get on our thing? Or on Tim, excuse me?
They okayed for the 200,000.
Well, I appreciate knowing that, because that's the stuff we're gonna find out. You know, I guess it, kind of when the DCA comes in, if you're not familiar with us, we work investigations, and then we can only do them one way. So no matter what, if somebody dies, we only have one protocol for, you know, in case that's to the full extent. So we can't come in here and just spend a day and go. We have to spend it, do all our checks on our boxes, right? So, you know, with that, we need to look like self-records and that kind of stuff, and that'll give us a good idea of, you know, where you're at when things go, and, you know, where you're at maybe when you got some of these phone calls and that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm going to ask you those questions of where you think you were at. You know, we can look at the bank and, you know, see if that'll help us with the timeline when you left. Is there any concerns you have about anything we might find that you want to get out now? Because anything that, if we, any nasty text messages you guys send each other or anything like that?
Actually, our conversations were better with text message. You know, we could be in a room and not talk.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when you walk for supper, throw this in the trash or do this. That's how we communicated, was through text messages. There were no bad text, you know. Trying to work in Owen's room, redoing it. Every time I came out, he was studying watching the ball game. Could you vacuum? Could you do this and that?
Yeah, you're trying to be super mom and he's kind of
So
chillaxing.
we had a few words that day. That's when kids said, you need to be happier. I always had to get to a little boiling point, and then he would do it.
My goal here is to prepare myself for when I think that maybe information is going to come out from the autopsy or from the fire investigation that's not going to maybe correlate with the information you're giving us. And the reason I see that is I want to be able to talk about that a little bit because I can understand stressors at home, and I talk with people and I talk with relationships that you try for years to make right. And sometimes they don't get right, and no matter what you do, there's no good out. And yeah, finances on top of that, there's a lot of stress going on. Wouldn't be the first person I talked to that was one of those tipping points for a relationship, because I don't think the candle started the fire. I don't think that happened. I think that you're right, the neighbors kind of were outside. I think that we want to kind of talk about maybe the timing of when the fire started. You know, and I'm worried that the doctors can find at the autopsy. I think maybe you talk with some of the first responders about maybe not even wanting an autopsy done.
No, because that whole, not because I don't want to know what happened, because, I mean, Mike and I had that conversation, it was to Mike. That whole cutting and pulling everything out, even in that shape, just.
And I guess I look at the totality of all that information and try to figure out what's going on. And if there's other explanations for it. Because what I think is that maybe we're not completely truthful about the interactions in the morning. I think just talking here a little bit of inconsistencies on our conversation. I mean, that's my job. I'm a fact finder. My concern is that there's going to be facts that come up that are suspect of something else happening. And maybe I might jump to the wrong conclusion. You know, if there's something more going on with the relationship, or there's an argument that happened. You know, I need to know that because I wasn't there, you know, so I can't interject and maybe speculate what I think happened. I can only go with the facts lead us, and if it's not, you know, I mean, you indicated you lit a candle, and if the fire guys end up saying, you know, fire, let's start by candle, I can't find any other reason for it. I need to figure out what would happen, why would a fire start in this room?
I don't know, I don't.
And then if the autopsy comes back and there's concerns for the medical examiner has, you know, I gotta be prepared to deal with that. You understand how that works, they're on toxicology and that kind of stuff. You know, make sure that there's not any other system failures or something like that in his body. I don't think that's gonna be the case. I don't think this was a heart attack or a stroke or anything like that. I just don't think that's gonna be the fact. The relationships are tough, and I think that things snowball and things get out of control, and sometimes we as people are trying to look at doing right things for our kids. And when money starts piling up and we start looking at outs, I think that that's definitely a reason why things like this happen. Maybe Tim's not contributing in a certain way, maybe there's some way that maybe you're grasping onto a hope that there's a way to get out of this mess. Because I think that's what this case is going to show us. I think we're going to find some things that the autopsy is going to say he didn't die at the fire. I think there's going to be, the fire guys are going to tell us that the fire didn't start by the candle. And it's going to leave Mike and I to sit here and say, okay, maybe this was planned and something that Barb thought about for a long time, and maybe it was one of those things, I just can't take life anymore. And it's the only thing I thought I could do to keep my family and keep Owen and Kate with me. I get that, I understand that. But I think that that's what we're gonna find out with Barb. And I guess I'd rather hear that from you, so I could at least get a little emotion with that instead of the black and white. Because I think maybe something happened during the night or early in the morning that you didn't know what to do now. I think that things just steamrolled, and maybe looking back, if we could change things, we would. I think you're a good person. I think that you would change things. But the information that you're giving us is not gonna correlate with what the evidence shows. You know, we're not gonna have you on camera at the bank. We're not gonna have you on cell towers where you're at. The neighbors knew when we left the house and the fire started. Now's the opportunity to help us
I
understand.
went to the bank, I have the money in my purse.
But it's not gonna change how the fire started or how you got it. You know, I think that we always should maybe, if it was just an accidental fire, right, that would make things easier. That, you know, maybe that the house burnt down and people responded, they'd accept that. In this case, they didn't. They called us and investigated, and I think they all did.
Right, I understand that.
And I'm going to go through the evidence, I'm going to have to present it, I'm going to have to discuss, and I'm going to say, this is not plausible. I don't think Barb's at this other end of the spectrum where she just did this because she wants to be a soccer coach.
That's like
That's
a
the way
long time ago.
I know, but these are the things that come out.
Right, I understand.
Right, you were going to say, oh, she just wanted the money, it's a life insurance thing. You know, I'm not going to, she wanted to hang on because he didn't treat her well, he didn't do anything, he was lazy.
I wanted one of my kids to have a father.
It's more than a shave. It's the first thing people notice about you. Level up with Barbasol for a clean, smooth finish every time. It's America's #1 brand of shaving cream for a reason. No need to pay more for other brands. Barbasol delivers a big and rich instant lather that simply gets the job done. Shave with confidence, knowing you're using Barbasol, the American original, for over 100 years. Because it's more than a shave. It's Barbasol.
What do you think is going to happen when the medical examiner calls me up? Because I don't even need when he first called today to know that he's going to tell me there's some concerns here with his body.
I don't know.
How
Tim
are we
was in
already
bed
done?
when I left.
And I don't think that that's going to be possible that when you left and Tim was alive.
He was snoring.
And I think the medical examiners might differ to that. And I'm telling you right now that nobody in this room believes that that's the true story. I think we're leaving some things out, because I see some pretty bad stuff. Right? And I can go to bed and think it's the worst, that Barb just wanted the money because she wanted her kids are almost out of school, she wanted to do it, and she's wanted the money to live her life that she didn't get. Right? Those are the things that come out. When I look at you, I see a mom that's worked her butt off all the years trying to put a good house for her kids. I see the bills coming out. I see Tim saying that he wants a divorce and he's going to leave you. Maybe the kids want to go with him, and you're losing everything that you worked so hard for. And your life come crumbling down. And I think you're looking for an out. And I think that's what it was. I think it was an out, and I think we'll find out what happened to Tim medically. And I think we'll find out that the fire was set afterwards to cover that up. Tim might have been quiet towards you, but he wasn't quiet to other people about his relationship problems. He talked about the issues you guys had going on. And I put it with the facts that I see at the scene and the facts that I see at the autopsy. And I have to add all that up and see what it looks like. It's heavily weighted that you're at fault here. You all know that. I just don't want to get the wrong assumption. I want to get the true story out there, that this wasn't because you were angry. And this wasn't because you were upset. I want to hear that this was done for the reason that you think they were. And I think I know. I think it's for you. I think you really felt this was the best thing to be able to get the money that you need to survive, keep the house, keep the kids. You guys were going to get separated anyhow, Barb. You know that was coming.
We had lived in this kind of relationship probably for the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Just existing.
Mm-hmm. And it's not a good place.
No, it's not.
Said you
We
wanted a
always had
divorce
it.
and couldn't afford to get divorced? Is that a problem?
We,
That was a conversation I'm sure you had.
right, and I had that conversation with my two close friends. You know, financially, we couldn't separate. Financially, you know, what would we do with the house? I could afford bills, but I couldn't afford the kids to have their home, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we just existed that way, and that's the way we were.
And without Tim's money coming in, you wouldn't be able to do it by yourself, right?
Right. But like I said, every time that we had gotten to that point, you know, I'm like, why don't you just leave? He wouldn't leave. He wouldn't leave his kids.
Mm-hmm. In fact, he wanted to keep his kids.
Right.
And maybe he was even trying to get Owen on his side.
And I told Owen that day that when he said, Mom, when I gave you two, just would you be happier you're separated? I said, Owen, honestly, I have stayed this long because I wasn't sure you would go with me. Because he was closer to his dad. Because his dad was the easygoing one, and I'm the one who yelled to clean your room and to do
But you're
this.
also the one that goes to all the tournaments and you
Right.
get his laundry done and get all that.
Well, Tim did laundry most days.
Mm-hmm. And I get that. So at the same time, you're dealing with that struggle of like giving so much over the years. Now, Dad, just because you wanted your buddies, are hoping against you, trying to separate the family. I can understand that. I can understand when things get out of control. I just don't. I don't understand how it got to this point.
Honestly, it didn't get to this point.
The evidence is going to show that. We're going to track all that back. And it's going to prove that something
The
happened.
only thing you're going to prove is I didn't go through court and I cut through Russell.
Why wouldn't you tell me that?
I told him that Saturday. But I don't know.
I don't understand
I
that.
cut through there so I could drive faster because I was running behind. I don't exactly know what time I left town. But I stopped and got $200 out of the Farmers Bank. I didn't do anything.
You started the fire.
No, I
In the
didn't.
house.
I set the candle there.
And the candle didn't start the fire.
Then I don't know.
Barb, look at it from our standpoint.
I know that.
If the fire starts moments after you're gone, your neighbors are over there trying to pound on the window. Tim's not responsible. Your dog still lives, but Tim doesn't.
Yeah. I don't know why the dog lived. I don't know why this happened.
And I think, on the inside, I think you do. I want to be able to put your story out there, Barb. I want people to understand what happened. Because the truth's going to come out, and it's going to be my evidence only. And that's what I need. I want more. I want us to leave here knowing the full truth, Barb. I don't want to have to ask these hard questions at all, and I don't want to have to sit in there, Kate, figure out what's going on at night and ask all the questions. I want to talk to you.
That night was a peaceful night. I baked my cookies and did all that and he did.
Nothing.
No, I'm not saying he didn't do nothing. That night he went for a walk. I don't know if he took the trash out or not.
Was
He
there
took
a
over the
conversation
laundry.
between Owen and Tim that
I don't know, they
maybe
went for a
upset
walk.
things? But
No, I don't know. I yelled at the kids to get their stuff ready. So, because I know that half the time we can't find you, and then you have to dig through stuff. And at 6, when you had to be somewhere at 6:30, I didn't want that to happen. I'm not gonna sit here and say I killed my husband. Just because I might be off 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. I did not.
And I think the investigation is going to show otherwise, Barb. I'm confident that I wouldn't sit here and tell you that if I wasn't fully confident in it. I think the doctors, we were at the autopsy, we know we have strong concerns on what happened. I have some strong concerns about the stories that you've given because they've changed. I think when it comes out that the fire started and you leave and you drive away, maybe you weren't, why those neighbors have to be outside? Because you didn't leave at 6:50, you left at 7:15. Okay, and then that'll tell us too when you're down at the bank. ATM's gonna have a camera that shows what time you got your money out. Cell phone record's gonna show where you're at when you get the phone calls. I think if everybody's calling you, I think you're scared to answer.
No, I wasn't. My phone was not working. I got text or voicemails today from Saturday because in the night I did some kind of update. Because I'm like, how did I miss 7 voicemails? And they're from like Saturday. That were there
Barb,
before.
I'm not gonna argue with you on that because the cell phone companies will tell me if they're connected or not. I don't need you to tell me if they made a connect call or not.
I called Verizon last night trying to get access to Tim's phone because he had all these pictures of the kids and the phone was broke. I wanted that. Only reason because
Well, I'll go to my brother's house and then to my dad's.
she told me I'd have a court order and everything else. So when they tell you that, that was the reasoning. The kids have been trying to call his voicemail to record it, and it goes to an automated system. I asked him how to get that back.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. I'm sure.
My train's not till 4 p.m. tomorrow, so I got a lot of time to chill. Chill and get some sleep and all that. How about you? What you doing for Christmas, man?
We're trying to deal with things with Owen and Kate and getting them squared away, and we can't get past what happened Saturday morning. But I mean, it's not going to go away no matter how much we try to spin a story or say things happen this way. You know, maybe if the house went up in flames and collapsed on itself, maybe we wouldn't have known things. You know, he was not that badly burned. The doctor's able to do a proper examination on it and come to conclusions. You know, you get caught.
Yeah, I just bought a new cat carrier too. It's a better one than the one I had before. The little cat carrier I had before, it's like it collapses in on itself. But the one that I have now stays like a solid structure, kinda. Or stays open at least. And it's better sized, so yeah. Cat's coming with. I'm staying there for like a week or a little less. Till the 29th, so not quite New Year's. But pretty a few days.
Your daughter, their house is on fire. You don't even call him to see if he's okay. You don't call him because you know he's already dead.
No, I didn't. I was just
exactly
trying to take care of. No.
That's exactly what somebody does. When somebody calls and says, my house on fire, when I left, I know my husband's in there.
So the fire trucks and everything else was there. Because that was something that Kate had said. Mom, there's a fire at the house and we're there.
And that leaves Mike and I to think, okay, they've had problems with their marriage since 2010. Tim's expressed concerns to family members that the divorce was imminent. Things they weren't getting along very well. And maybe Barb did plans for months or weeks. Maybe it was that cold and calculated. Because I think that's what the evidence is going to show us. You know, when I talk with people in the rooms, I guarantee we cannot change what things happen, but we can go back in time. I like to hear people say that I wish you wouldn't have that long. You know, at least give me the information that they feel bad about it. I don't think I'm sitting across from a person that has any of those concerns. They're not concerns. I think in your mind, you're truly trying to do what you thought was best. But help us understand them.
I don't know what there's understanding. You arrested me today.
Well, I'm here to listen to you.
I don't know what you want me to tell you.
That's what I'm here to do today. I'm here to tell you that I have talked to people like you before that have been in situations like this. That when they're pushed up against the wall and things didn't work out, they didn't plan. I tried to talk with them to figure out why. I know how it happened. I know when it happened. I'm pretty sure you didn't exactly know exactly where and what time it happened. That's going to come out. I'm going to have all those facts, but one piece I'm going to miss is the why part. And that's what everybody's going to want to know, and why did this happen? I want to be here to be able to write that into the story for the I don't want to just use the who, what, when, and where. I want to know what things happened. That's important. It's not necessary. We can go forward with our case with the evidence we have. It looks pretty damn good. I think things add up. And as human beings, we can only take so much. And then we have to go into what can I do to keep some sense of normalcy? How can I keep my house? How can I keep my kids?
Dabble do yet?
We
If you can breathe better, what isn't better? Dupixent continuously works to help prevent asthma attacks. So girls' days are better. Game days are better. Even Mondays are better. Dupixent's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent helps people with asthma achieve better breathing that lasts. Some people felt their asthma symptoms improve in as little as 3 days. And isn't that better? Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away if signs of inflamed blood vessels like rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, brown or dark colored urine, tingling or numbness in limbs. Tell your doctor of new or worsening skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Do more with less asthma. Ask your doctor about Dupixent, the most prescribed biologic in asthma.
No other choices to make. Help me understand how we got to where we did. Harvey, you shook your head, but you know I'm right. What was the breaking point for you?
I don't have anything to say. I didn't have a breaking point.
Renovation mindsets always insisted the headboard must sit right in the middle, while the wardrobe gets squeezed. Stop placing the bed in the center of a small bedroom. Old renovation mindsets always insisted the headboard must sit right in the middle, while the wardrobe gets squeezed sadly into a corner. The moment you open the corner cabinet door, it swings straight toward the bed. Try adding a study desk and the whole walkway becomes a single lane road. Here's what you should do instead. Push the bed tightly against the wall and get rid of the thick headboard. Wrap the edges of the bed with soft padding. The moment you lie down, it feels so cozy you could hum a tune. A simple double eyelid ceiling design stays timeless and doesn't cost much. Remember to leave space for a wall-mounted AC unit. When it's hidden properly, it doesn't take up room. Next to the bed, build a full-height wardrobe. Hang coats and jackets inside, and you can reach everything with just a stretch of your hand. Add 2 large drawers below to organize all your personal clothing. Store older bed sheets in the bottom section. Leave an open niche on the side with a socket so you can charge your phone. In the corner, carve out a diamond-shaped wardrobe and place a rotating hanger inside. The storage capacity is huge, enough to fit the entire fashion collection of your household. Pulling the rotating rack feels premium. By the window, customize a floating study seat. The natural lighting is so good you won't even need a desk lamp. Along the side, install a full-wall bookshelf with hidden storage boxes below for all kinds of miscellaneous items. Fill the shelves with classic literature and study materials. You'll have more storage space than you can imagine. Cover the center area with a pin board to hang keys, earphones, and other small essentials, so mom no longer has to worry about David studying. As for curtains, install them close to the window. A small bedroom can feel comfortable and spacious, as long as the planning hits the key needs of sleeping, studying, and storage.
Studying for what's gonna happen. You understand, you watch these shows, you're in the medical field, you know they're gonna be able to do toxicology and figure out what happened, and that's gonna come back on you. The fire didn't destroy his body. That's gonna come back to you, and then it's just gonna be evidence.
I don't understand, so
Well, then take me through it. What led up to that decision? Because we know
there's no decision.
he didn't die on his own, Fire. Something happened that morning for you to decide that today is the day. I don't know if it was the timing of the school and not wanting to go with you. It was just the opportunity.
You being happy and depressed with life, and I'm,
And we're past that. But no, Mike and I are telling you that we're way past on whether this happened by you Barbara or not. We know that this happened.
okay, so then we have to be honest and agree.
You free to leave. It's not gonna change things up
I
there.
know. It'll just go on to another day.
What's gonna happen?
I don't know, I don't know what to tell you.
What am I supposed to tell her? Let me ask you.
I don't know.
What am I supposed to tell her sisters? What happens when it comes back that maybe is quit?
I don't know, I'm sure you have the answers and I don't.
Good work. At this point, I'm going to see your cell phone and you don't hold on to your vehicle right now.
at even more. 31. So I'll need your cell phone.
You guys work for it now?
What's that? I'm seizing them right now. I'll be signed here. I will give you, I'm not keeping you this one, but right now, I need to, because I get the work on it. Okay.
But how am I supposed to get home here?
You call them or we'll be right.
Barbara left the police station. She and the kids lived with her mother as the fire was still under investigation. The results of the autopsy came in. Chief Demery said the medical examiner found no smoke inhalation in Tim's lungs, meaning he was deceased before the fire.
They killed her brother. They shot her dog. And they took her hostage for 400 days and terrifying nights. They raped her. They put guns to her head. They starved her. These are the stories of Israeli women attacked by Hamas. If you are supporting Hamas and radicalized Palestinians, this is what you are supporting. Choose freedom, not terror.
Tim and Barbara's son, Owen, asked to speak with the police. Officer Moore met with him at the station. Owen said that the evening before the fire, he and his father had gone on a walk, and Tim had expressed to him that a divorce from his mother would be happening soon. Owen said that his parents' relationship had recently been bad, with fights occurring more often than not. He believed that his mother had something to do with Tim's death. Detectives then spoke with other family and friends of the Pazas. Sonia, a friend of Barbara, said that she and Barbara had gone out to eat one evening about 2 weeks before the fire. Sonia said they were discussing stuff going on in their life, and out of the blue, Barbara stated loudly that she was upset with Tim. She discussed a pending divorce and her concerns about who the kids would want to live with. She also mentioned their financial struggles. Sonia said that Barbara would spend a lot of time shopping for herself, her kids, and her friends. Spending money was one of her favorite things to do. During their conversation, Barbara said that she hated Tim and that if she wanted to get rid of someone, she knew she could. Sonia brushed off the comments as a harmless rant. Tim's friend Rich said Barbara wanted people to know how much she was giving or how much she was doing. She tried to portray herself as the perfect mom and the perfect family. Police located documentation showing that the Paza home was nearing foreclosure. Credit card bills were past due, and Barbara had maxed out Tim's life insurance. She had also increased the amount on the homeowner's insurance policy. Officer Moore said that Tim was worth a lot more to her dead than alive. The day following the interview with Barbara, dispatch received a 911 call from her mother's residence advising that Barbara was having seizure-like symptoms. She was suffering from an overdose and was transported to a hospital in Des Moines. With Barbara recovering, detectives focused on finding evidence that she orchestrated her husband's death. The standard toxicology test found no foreign substances, so the medical examiner ordered a more thorough lab test. The results showed elevated levels of a drug named propofol. Propofol is a fast-acting drug that is commonly used to sedate patients undergoing surgery. In large doses, it can cause an individual to stop breathing and can lead to death. Investigators spoke with staff at the hospital where Barbara worked. They explained how propofol was administered and disposed of. Propofol is stored in single-use vials, which must be disposed of regardless of whether the entire contents were used. Barbara would have had access to trace amounts of unused propofol. In fact, she was responsible for disposing of the vials. Police recovered the ATM footage of Barbara. The video placed her in Centerville, 2 minutes from her home, at 7:25 a.m. Less than 10 minutes later, at 7:33, her neighbor made the 911 call. When Barbara was released from the hospital, officers were there to arrest her. On May 18, 2018, Barbara Passa was charged with first-degree murder and first-degree arson. On September 17, 2019, the trial began. According to the defense, the police arrested the wrong person. They implicated a fellow nurse who lived nearby as somebody who could have entered the residence and injected Tim with propofol. Police determined that the nurse had left home that morning at 5:30 a.m. and was not in the area when the incident occurred. Barbara took the stand. She showed emotion and talked about some of her past traumatic experiences and claimed that she would not have taken her children's father from them. Sonia said that Barbara tried to convince people that she was not the evil person everybody knows her to be. Rich said that her tears were phony. The entire thing was phony. The jury deliberated for 3 hours and returned guilty verdicts. The judge sentenced her to life without parole. Chief Milburn said that the sentence was not a win. There are 2 children without a father or a mother, and they will remember this forever. Sonia said Tim should be remembered for the proud dad he was. She said he would be beyond proud of the lives they're living and all their successes. The town of Centerville raised over $20,000 for the kids. They now live with family members and have no contact with their mother. For more never-before-seen cases, click one of the videos on screen or the links in the pinned comment. Goodbye for now.
You need coffee or anything? Okay.
I'm just gonna search you, man. Make sure, can I unzip that, or do you just want me to patch it on the outside?
I'm kind of cold, so.
Well, don't take it off, don't take it off. Okay.
Despite the seemingly cordial exchange you just watched, 41-year-old Joseph Ferlazzo is at this point classified as extremely dangerous and unpredictable. And it's no coincidence the biggest officer at the Vermont State Police St. Albans Barracks was chosen to conduct this opening sequence of his interrogation.
Long night, huh? Yeah. Any knives on those keys?
Oh, you know, there's like a little baby,
Oh, that? I set that right there. We do this, you know, we always make sure anybody that comes in here doesn't have any knives or anything on them. Is that your wallet? Yeah. You said that there for me. We're just always, you know, hyper vigilant.
Yeah.
So here, have a seat, make yourself comfortable.
I think Amy said she's gonna get you some food. Said you're hungry?
Yeah. Okay. We'll work on that. See what we can get you. Thanks. You, what were you doing? Just going to the gas station?
Yeah.
Shot you? Yeah. No way. Were you on the side of the road?
Yeah, let's walk right again.
Sit down, huh? Hey, listen. We're still keeping
Imagine for a moment being told to go into a room with a man who just viciously murdered his wife, but act as if he has done nothing wrong, as though he were a harmless stranger in need of assistance. Your outward demeanor must show no judgment, no suspicion, and certainly no fear. While maintaining such an artificial calm in front of such an unpredictable threat, many people would jump at the sudden clatter of metal from his pocket knife being tossed across the table. And while this officer reveals the smallest crack in composure from the sheer abruptness of it, he immediately blends into the moment and maintains the desired atmosphere. What you're seeing here from the officer is deception. 100% pure choreography, and a particular form of psychological maneuvering that just so happens to work perfectly with this individual's personality. Anytime Joseph tries to be funny or charming, the officer responds in the appropriate manner to protect his ego. You will notice he completely strips the atmosphere of its gravity, and ensures there is no tension or awkwardness in the exchange. The reason this works so well in this specific circumstance is because Joseph Ferlazzo, in our opinion, is a raging fucking narcissist. He's so incredibly susceptible to the external validation from the officers that he genuinely seems to believe they've taken a strong liking to him, and that he's able to control the environment through his super chill, laid-back personality. To give you some context, Joseph will go on to plead not guilty to all charges. So let's briefly jump ahead 3 years to his trial, and hear in his own words how he supposedly ended up in this interrogation chair.
Please be seated, everyone. Does the defense wish to present a case, Ms. Jan?
Yes, thank you. We call Joseph Ferlazzo.
Okay.
We affirm that the evidence you shall give relative to the cause now under consideration.
So, Joseph, we're going to take things one subject at a time, okay?
Very good.
How are you feeling this morning?
Very nervous, very anxious, very tired. Yeah.
Okay. Reaches a point where you feel you need a break, let us know, please.
Yes.
The act he's trying to project here is that of a traumatized husband, a man who had no choice but to save his own life from an abuser. He frequently widens his eyes and performs these hard swallows to convey heightened vulnerability and emotional shock. Gestures that appear semi-convincing during direct examination, but will completely fall apart under cross-examination.
So let's start with some easy information. Where were you born?
I was born in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania.
When did you move to Vermont?
I moved to Vermont in 2012.
Were you working as a tattoo artist at that time?
Yes, I was.
When did you meet Emily?
I met Emily in 2018.
And to be clear, we're talking about Emily Ferlazzo, who was your wife, right?
Yes.
How did you meet her?
Well, I had initially met her through her friend Lauren. I can't remember her last name. Lauren.
Lauren was an apprentice in his tattoo shop who one day brought in her best friend Emily for a piercing.
When she left, I made a comment to Lauren. I said that. I was like, that friend of yours is something special. I said I wouldn't mind making her my next ex-wife. Lauren laughed.
You didn't start dating her at that point, did you?
No. I think she was seeing somebody else, and I was seeing somebody else.
Emily returns to the shop to get a tattoo. He claims that she called him afterwards, whereas records indicate he was the one who called her.
She wanted to have more tattooing done. She's like, oh my God, like, I really love this tattoo, like, and now I want more. A week and a half, 2 weeks later, she's back getting more tattoos. I'm asking her how she's been in the last 2 weeks, how her tattoo healed. Her demeanor was different. She told me she had just broken up with her boyfriend. She dyed her hair a different color. She was extremely flirty. And I was receptive to that. I was like, wow, like, you really seem like pretty open today. Like, and I asked her if she wanted to go have a motorcycle ride and see a tour of some of Vermont.
And did she?
Yes, she did. Yes, we took a motorcycle ride that evening.
So after that night, when did you see Lauren, I keep saying Lauren, Emily next?
The next day.
They hung out every day for the rest of the summer and eventually got married in October.
So you were happy?
I was happy.
And did she seem to be happy?
Yes, she was.
And during these first few months of your relationship, well, I've already asked you, you said it was euphoric and you were both happy, right?
Yes, that's right.
What's the matter? You're looking a little...
Yeah, I'm feeling very emotional right now.
What's bothering you?
I miss her.
Let me know when you're ready to start again.
I'm okay.
You're okay?
I'm okay.
He claims the first several months of the marriage were happy before things started going downhill.
It led to, it led to violence and
explain what you mean.
like
by
physical abuse started coming into our relationship.
The only evidence of physical abuse in their relationship was of him abusing her, which colleagues in their work circles had suspected was going on.
Where she would go through my phone and then respond by beating on me.
Was she saying anything to you while this was happening?
Yeah, just really, she was really angry. So, you're a fucking asshole. I don't want to. Do I have to swear? Do I have to
I want
quote?
you to say what she said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she would say, you're a fucking asshole. I can't believe you're still fucking talking to this bitch. And it was a friend of mine that I'd known for years, and I told her that I would stop being physical with this friend and that our relationship wasn't going to dissolve because we were friends since 2014. Like,
was she angry?
Yes, she was. Yes, she was very angry. Yes, she was assaulting me.
So she was verbally angry.
Yes.
And physically.
Yes, ma'am.
Hitting you. Right?
Yes, physically.
And did you ever hit her back?
No, ma'am.
You never contacted the police about any of the times that she assaulted you.
The technical term for what you're seeing here is called drawing the sting. It's when the defense raises a damaging issue themselves before the prosecution can exploit it. And Joseph here seems to have practiced this one in the mirror a few times.
No, it's not their business.
Not their business. That's a motto that you live your life by, isn't it?
I'm an independent person. I'm a very private person. I don't want to dump my crap on other people.
They then got a dog, bought a camper van, and went to Bolton, Vermont for their 1-year wedding anniversary.
This was our first like road trip as a family. So it's very exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Emily too, she was in a good mood.
Yeah, she was super excited to take Rosie out, and she was stoked to meet Nikki and Ariel.
Nikki is his sister, and Ariel is her boyfriend, who they were meeting up with for the anniversary. The first night they got there, while alone together in the camper van, he claims Emily started becoming combative, saying the anniversary idea was terrible and the camper van was stupid.
So I was like, yo, like, maybe just like pour yourself a drink and relax.
He then takes the dog out for a walk and brings his handgun with him.
It has tritium sights on it, so you can see in the dark. And that was I had seen some what I believe to be coyote. I had like shown a flashlight and I saw a couple sets of eyes in the dark. So Remington's a pretty small dog, and I just wanted to be able to protect her.
When he gets back into the camper van, he claims Emily starts berating him about the candles he lit earlier being too bright.
And I said, it's not that bright, like, you could always just roll over. She got up and ran at me and grabbed one of the candles.
He claims that she begins attacking him with a candlestick.
Where?
She hit me in like my neck and head, and in my arms. I was like blocking. I had to restrain her. I had to like physically grab her by her arms and like hold her arms down. And she kept kicking. She actually kicked Remy.
He says that he manages to push her onto the side of the bed and she calms down.
I told her that, you know, that we're not your punching bags, and
You said what?
told her that we weren't her punching bags.
We weren't.
She kicked Remy.
For the record, Emily adored animals, and this statement was deemed extremely implausible by her peers. Joseph, on the other hand, was accused by his ex-girlfriend of kicking her dog on 2 separate occasions.
And she was kicking me and punching me, and I pushed her back, and I told Remy, I was like, yo, we're gonna take a walk.
After the second walk, he gets back into the camper van, drinks a vodka and Coke, then starts getting into his side of the bed.
So I was climbing over her, and she shouted, fuck off. And she like threw an elbow at me, and elbowed me in my groin. And I said, no more hitting. And so we had like a bunch of throw pillows that we like lined around the bed, like the top of the bed where we slept. So one of the throw pillows was right there, and I swatted her with the throw pillow, and I said, stop hitting.
Please remember these next 17 seconds, which we're calling the phony fugue state. He tries to present a foggy, dissociated moment of recollection, with long pauses, forced ums, and a vacant stare. But it's pure performance. And we know it's performance because he'll completely contradict this manner of recollection during cross-examination.
And that's when it happened.
What happened?
She said, that's it, you're dead. And she threw her arm under her pillow.
He earlier made the claim that both him and Emily slept with handguns under their pillows, also deemed highly implausible by witness testimony.
And she pulls her hand out with the Taurus.
No worries. Okay.
wings.
Sometimes life can be a little messy. But with next-gen Nubella Performance Fabric at Ashley, we've got your whole home covered. So you can get back.
And
How are you feeling?
I was just feeling horrified. Just
Were
like,
you afraid?
I was terrified. Like there was like as soon as I saw that, like I just felt like this like wave of heat. Like just like red hot. And she started like pushing her body up in an instant, and I'm like, no. And like I don't know, like she wasn't stopping. And I was holding my Glock.
He'll later claim he was in the process of putting the gun under his own pillow.
And she started just like coming up at me, and I just fired.
Why?
She was gonna shoot me.
And you were afraid?
Very.
From this point forward, he claims to have no memory of the events that followed until he woke up in a police cell 3 days later. But according to corroborated evidence and witness testimony, he had breakfast with his sister the next morning, where he ordered a goat cheese omelet, a side of bacon, and a samosa. He then gave his sister a tattoo. When his sister asked where Emily was, he told her she was sleeping. He then sent a string of text messages to Emily's phone number. The next day, he went to a bonfire party, where he was seen taking bong hits and doing keggers. Later that same evening, he would send Emily another series of text messages. He went for pancakes and a samosa once again the next morning, then sent Emily one final message. It would be shortly after this message that Emily's mother asked Joseph where her daughter was, and why her phone had been switched off for so long. He told her they had gotten into a fight, and that he hadn't seen Emily in roughly 2 days. Emily was then reported missing. Roughly 7 hours later, as Joseph's friend was driving him back to where the camper van was parked, they noticed police had cordoned off the area. Joseph then told his